Alright, guys. Since I keep getting a bunch of bullshit in my freaking comments on the Yu-Gi-Oh! HQ page for Facebook, I'm going to be doing this profile. I am not only going to be posting this on that Facebook page, I'm also posting it on YouTube for y'all. Um, Pretty much is that the reason why I'm doing this is that way I can explain a lot of the cards without having to try typing it out and people not understand where I'm coming from with this. Again, sorry about that. I don't make these cookie cutter builds for decks. So, I will always try and do things a little bit different with my deck, the decks that I build. Um, so for any of y'all that might be watching on YouTube, I don't like making cookie cutter builds for decks. Because everybody practically already knows how to do those, how to combat those. So I like to make things a little bit different, as well as trying to, how do I say this? Do things that would make my opponent go, what the fuck? Um, and obviously, as I stated before, on my end of it, I'm not sure about my co-pilot for this channel, this part, but I know for my part, it is not PG-13. It is pretty much rated R for language. So for any of you, so yeah. Um, all right, I'm gonna get my phone in the tripod, and I will get this going. All right, guys. Keep in mind this deck is not completely built. I'm still gonna be getting the Electromites, and a couple other Link monsters for the extra. I'm gonna be getting at least one Beals, um, and I will be having a side, which I will not be sharing with what that is on video. Pretty much what this is my kind of a version of a Pendulum Magician deck. Since Double Iris got hit at the 0, as well as Skull Crobat Joker, it gave me 6 different slots to put in with this deck. Now, keep in mind, it's not exactly a build that I'm going to be sticking with, but a build that will kind of give me an idea of like, okay, this is probably not the best idea to have in here. This could be a good idea, but you don't know until I try it out. Stuff like that. So, without further ado, I'm going to get into this. Pretty much, one of the targets for my Pendulum Call is Memory Crusher. Also, with it, I can easily, if I can't use it for Pendulum Call and I'm able to do it, I can easily pop off a Memory Crusher, get the 1,000 damage in, as well as get the effect damage for each card in their extra deck. Which with Electromite, there's going to be a good chance that there's going to be a lot of cards in the extra deck because there's still going to be a good amount of people playing Pendulum Magicians. Alright. Drone Lockbird is one of those that I'm going to be having multiple of. So, I am going to be running multiples of these. This is one of the few cards I will state won't be in my extra deck. I'll be having at least one or two more of these in my extra. I'm probably going to be running 2 in my main, in case for like some random spiral builds or trickstar builds or something like that allows them to go into the deck. Astrograph Sorcerer, I only have 1 of right now. I will be getting 2 more. Pretty much this is going to be important for one of the monsters in my extra deck, which y'all will see soon. I am running 2 Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragons, pretty much as like a powerhouse. Also just to be able to be out there, just for another card for them to have to get over. 1 Damage Juggler, pretty much to stop them from being able to take out a monster while I'm summoning it, because of Judgment and Strike and Warning and everything. Also, it can like if I'm about to take a decent amount of damage, I could end the game, like on turn 1. I can send this and I'll take 0 damage from that battle, I think it is. Yeah, it's for the whole turn. So this way it gives me another chance to be able to to be able to get another turn. Uh, Sorry. One Odd Eyes Lancer Dragon, pretty much is to help protect some of my monsters as well as get another monster in my another monster pendulum monster on my extra deck. Um, yeah, and also they can if when this card attacks, they can't activate Spark Trap cards until the end of the damage step. Um, Three Black Fang Magicians, primarily for the effect where I could bring back an Enlightenment Paladin from my graveyard and special summon it. Sorry about that. Apparently, I got a notification. Um, but also to be able to bring out of one of the two boss monsters for it. Three Wisdom Eyes in case somebody happens to be able to change one of the pendulum scales. Also for a monster I'm going to be getting for the side deck because I mean, let's face it, I'm going to be able to as in one monster I'm going to be having in my extra that well could really use this. Two Harmonizing for the pendulum effect where all my monsters gain 100 attack and defense for each pendulum monster face up on my extra, but also as a tuner to be able to help get out some of my monsters from my extra deck. See here, White Wing, pretty much just to be able to bring out one of the other monsters in one of the boss monsters from my extra. And as for the monsters, three Purple Poisons. It's kind of a combination of both for the pendulum effect and for the main effect. So yeah, it's actually quite interesting. And those of y'all that know what Purple Poison does, I'm not gonna say the effect. So yeah. Oh, now for the spells, I'm gonna be running two Duelist Alliance, pretty much to be able to get a pendulum monster to my hand, pretty much for the Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. So then that way it'd be easier for me to just boom 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 and get it out there. One Pot of Riches. Pretty much if I have three of them on my extra deck, I could shuffle them back into my deck. It's pretty much like a recycle card. And then I get to draw two cards. Impenetrable. Pretty much it protects my pendulum, pretty much protects my scales. And yeah. Constellar Belt is pretty much a target for the pendulum call. So yeah. Same with Pot of Riches, that's mostly a target for pendulum call. Speaking of which, I'm running three pendulum calls. Discard one card, add two Magician Pendulum monsters, which is good for being able to get a lot of my plays off. One Monster Reborn. Pretty much for stuff like Raigeki and Dark Arcole and stuff like that. And then I'm running two Sky Irises, which will help me be able to get my damage juggler to my hand quickly. And then two Star Pendulum Graphs. Pretty much it's to protect my well, not really protect, but they can't target it. My pendulum on any of my spellcaster monsters that I control with spell cards or their effects. So say they have like swords or some bullcrap like that targets, I can turn around and usually negate. I stop the effects with this. That's it for the spells. Now for the traps. Running one Solemn Judgment. It's obvious right there. I'm running three Solemn Strikes. Again, obvious. One-time Pendulum Graph. Pretty much it protects my my pendulum monsters from trap cards, as well as I could destroy one of them, destroy one of my opponent's cards. If not, I could destroy two cards. Well, destroy one of my cards, then destroy one of theirs. If I can't do that, I get to send two cards to the graveyard. I get to send one card to the graveyard. Johnny Mirror Force, pretty much to get rid of some of those pesky freaking link monsters and pesky monsters on the field. Once they attack, just activate and do that. Obviously, there's going to be some flaws with it, you know, like the True Kings and stuff like that. So, yeah. And then, obviously, at last, it's going to be one reincarnation. This is another one I'm going to be having two of in my side. Um, one or two of in my side. I might actually run a second one in my deck with the drone lock, with a second drone lock. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to be doing that or not. Yeah. So, now out of my extra. Now keep in mind, I will be getting at least one Beals for this, one Enlightenment Paladin to help me get back a spell card from my graveyard, one number 41 Baguska, pretty much as a staller, one number 107. Because of Enlightenment Paladin, all I really need that for is to get its effect off to add one spell card from my graveyard to my hand, and then Lancer Dragon, go into battle phase. Then main phase 2, I'd be able to summon this out, which can really just annoy the hell out of people. One Odd Eyes Absolute. Pretty much it's another version of crap, what card was that I have in here? I can't remember, but it allows me to get one Odd Eyes monster from my extra deck and add it to my hand, I believe. Oh no, I'm able to special summon one Odd Eyes monster from my extra deck. I'm sorry. So, alright, one Cyframe, one Omega, pretty much just to be able to banish pesky cards that could be in the hand or on the field. One Star Eater. This is one of my boss monsters, primarily because they cannot negate its Synchro Summon. Also, where they cannot activate cards like Mirror Force or Torrential Tribute or a lot of stuff like that. They pretty much have to overpower it, and because they cannot activate any cards or effects until the end of the damage step when it attacks. Z-Arc, primarily to blow up my opponent's side of the field if I want to go for a quick win. So that way it'll make it a hell of a lot easier. Also, when it's destroyed, it goes into a Pendulum Zone. One Underclock Taker. Again, sorry about that, my phone went off again. Underclock Taker to make it easier to go to another one of my monsters that I'm going to be having for this deck. Okay, somebody just sent me a text. And primarily to go into the next monster I'm going to talk about, but also I could turn around and do really mess with my opponent with this card. I will be getting one more of these, and one that I will be getting two more of, and the one that Underclock Taker actually helps me out with is Zephyr Metaltron. I feel like a lot of people are underestimating Metaltron with this deck. Pretty much when a monster is that this card points to is sent from as destroyed or sent to the graveyard or leaves the field, pretty much, I can add one monster from my extra deck face up to my hand. So that stops me from having to depend on that extra monster zone or using an arrow or using the zone that this card points to Pendulum Summon again. Alright guys, I know this is not exactly a great deck profile. Again, I am still working on it. But I am willing to suggestions. Don't be rude. Don't be disrespectful. So, yeah. Alright guys, that's the end of my deck profile. I hope y'all have a good day. Good night. Whatever.